What is up, ladies and gentlemen? So in this video I'm going to give a review of Baselang, an online program for learning Spanish. I've been doing it for a full month now and it seems to be really popular online. Now in the end I'm going to share my personal routine and schedule that has worked well for me. Stick around until the end of the video. Now why am I learning Spanish in the first place? The reason is I don't want to be that gringo anymore that goes into a Latin American country and all I know is how to say ¿Dónde está el baño? Or un cerveza por favor. Or if I want to talk to a girl at a bar, instead of just saying, Hola, me llamo Andre, do habla inglés? At which point she just promptly rejects me and slaps me in the face. Or if there's an awesome group of people at an event being engaged in some game, I want to be able to participate, but a lot of times I can't because I don't speak Spanish. I want to be a participant in all of that Latin America has to offer. Planeo ir a la Ciudad de Mexico en 3 semanas y estoy emocionando. Now my progress in the last month and a half has been great, but I want to give you a no BS perspective about Baselang so you can choose for yourself if this is the right program for you. So let's get into it. Now I'm doing a $149 a month real world plan, and that gives me unlimited classes. So let's get into the pros and cons. Number one, there's a wide variety of teachers to speak with. Now this is very important because each speaker has their own tendencies. So for instance, simple things like, okay, I understand. In Spanish, somebody can say exacto or claro que sí. So I want to get my reps in with lots of different speakers to train my ear for different accents and mannerisms. So Baselang is great for this part. Number two, there is a structure. So each time you have a class, you can decide if you want to do the lesson or you want to have a conversation with the teacher. Personally, I do about 45 minutes of the conversation and then I do 45 minutes of the lesson. There is some room for improvement, but overall, I'm very happy. Now they have about 7 or 8 different levels of Spanish, and in the first class, they'll gauge your speaking abilities and they'll put you in the right level. Number 3, it's affordable. So for about $149 a month, you have unlimited classes for the entire month, right? So personally, I do about 7 hours a week, and I think that averages about to $5 to $6 per hour. So I think it's a great value, especially if you compare it to college level course. When universities are charging so much money these days, it's crazy. And the added benefit of having unlimited classes is that I probably do more than I would have if I just paid per hour. So it's an added benefit that I think we could all benefit from. Now onto the cons. Number one, most of the teachers don't have that much experience, right? So most of the time, the teachers that I've spoken with, they have about 6-12 months of experience, maybe a year or two. But if you're looking for a teacher that has 5-10 years of experience, it might be hard to find one. Now personally as a beginner, it probably doesn't make too much of a difference, so it's probably not a deal breaker. Now personally I also have a teacher that I use from Upwork.com that's separate for Baselang. I just started to use her before I did Baselang, and she's just a little bit better across the board. And that's why I decided to keep her. That's not a knock on Baselang teachers. Generally, they're trying to do their best, and I'm really happy about that. But if you're looking for somebody with 5-10 years of experience, you can find somebody in Upwork for $12 to $15 an hour. Number 2 in the cons list, it's a bit of a trial and error to find a great teacher on Baselang. Now, what I mean by that is Baselang Real World is a bit like online dating. I had to try a few different teachers before I could pick one that I could relate with the most, and ones that have a great teaching style. Some of them are good and some of them have a little bit to be desired about. So once I found my 2 or 3 favorite teachers, I basically favorite them and then I could schedule with them again. So it's really not a huge issue, but something to keep in mind. Number 3, and this is probably my biggest criticism of Baselang, is that there's no focus on memorization of the most common words. Now I've read a few blogs by the founder and that's something he definitely preaches, but I haven't seen that implemented in the curriculum. And as a result, teachers don't really make that a priority. That's something I have to do on my own. Now personally I think memorizing top 800 to 1,000 words is very important when starting out learning a new language. I personally use an app called Anki, but there's also another one called Memrise. I did a video about memorizing Anki, so I'll link a video somewhere here and also in the description. Now personally it's not a big deal for me because I've done the research and I've implemented it on my own. However, for somebody that's starting out and doesn't have much experience with this, this is a very important step that you don't want to skip. And my number 4 criticism is that their calendar feature doesn't really work that well. So every time I schedule a class, they don't send me a calendar invite link. I know this is minor pet peeve, but their system is broken. So Baselang, if you're listening, if you could please fix the calendar feature, that would be greatly appreciated. Now, if you're interested to hear more about content around travel, being a digital nomad, learning new languages, acquiring new skills, making new friends in a foreign city, then subscribe to my channel. I have plenty of content coming in hot. Now, before I let you go, there's 2 other things I want to cover, right? There's the Gramerless option that Baselang has, which is about 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. For a month, they charge for that plan $900. And I was considering that plan, but it's just like, dude, I have a job, I'm doing the YouTube stuff, I also have a social life, I'm working out and other things like that. so that was too much of a time commitment. And also on top of that, the Gramerless course focuses more on the conversation and a lot less on grammar. So that's up to you if that's something you want to try out. So what does my current schedule look like right now? Well, I do Baselang on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and sometimes Sundays, an average of about 1.5 hours per class. And also work with my Upwork teacher on Monday and Friday, about 1 hour at a time. On top of that, I do Anki memorization cards, about 45 minutes a day with the input and also the reviewing. I do that for 7 days a week, baby. I just love it, I guess. Now that ends up being about 14 hours a week. And this works for me personally because I've tried learning Spanish for the last 5 years. And I feel like if I don't do this now, I'm just never gonna do this. And I just really want to get better at Spanish. To summarize, I'm pretty happy with the system. I've been doing it for about a month and a half. I memorized about 800 words and I can have basic conversations pretty easily for 20 to 30 minutes. Like I said, I'm still a noob, but there's hope in this gringo in the land of Mexico to make new friends that are not just gringos and just have more amazing adventures. So hopefully this was helpful for you, and nos vemos, amigos. See ya.